So you're ambitious, you have big dreams, you want to be successful, and ultimately you want to live the life you've always imagined. But there's a problem. You're lazy. You know exactly what you should be doing, yet you don't do it. That leads to guilt, because deep down you know you're capable of more. This guilt builds up over days, weeks, and months, until it quietly turns into acceptance. Then the new year arrives, and with it the same goals from last year. You start off strong, fueled by motivation and a bit of delusion. But before you know it, procrastination creeps in, like that one relative who always shows up uninvited. Your lingering procrastination turns into a daily cycle of laziness, and eventually you label yourself as a lazy person. So how do we break this cycle and finally escape procrastination? There are countless videos online, but most of them only treat the symptoms. They tell you to delete social media or remove distractions. While that might help for a short time, it doesn't fix the real issue. The true root cause of procrastination can be explained in one word: inertia. In physics, inertia is the tendency for objects at rest to stay at rest, and objects in motion to stay in motion, unless acted upon by an external force. This is known as Newton's first law of motion. And surprisingly, it applies just as much to your tasks as it does to physical objects. Starting any task, no matter how small, requires an initial push. It requires energy to overcome that resting state. And this is where most people struggle. We build up that first step in our minds until it feels massive and overwhelming. The task feels so big that instead of starting, we avoid it completely. We escape into quick dopamine activities like scrolling, watching videos, or doing anything that feels easier in the moment. To break procrastination, we have to break inertia. And there are two simple ways to do it. First, make getting started unbelievably easy. Reduce the stakes and shrink the task down to the smallest possible step. For example, if you tell yourself, "I need to sit down and finish my 5,000-word essay," the inertia feels huge because the pressure is huge. But if you tell yourself, "I'm just going to write 50 words," suddenly the resistance drops. It feels manageable. You don't need extreme willpower. You just need to begin. Second, use the 2-minute rule. If you don't feel like doing the task, tell yourself you'll only do it for 2 minutes. That's it. After 2 minutes, you're allowed to stop. If you don't feel like cleaning your room, play one song and clean until the song ends. If you don't feel like working, set a 2-minute timer and begin. Here's the interesting part. Most of the time, you won't stop. You'll keep going longer than 2 minutes. You'll write more than 50 words. And that's because once something is in motion, it tends to stay in motion. Momentum starts building. At first, it feels like pushing a heavy ball uphill. But once you pass that initial resistance, it starts rolling on its own. That's why the first push must be small and easy. Lower the pressure, reduce the expectations. Focus only on starting. You can apply this to anything in your life. Going to the gym, working on your side hustle, studying, improving your relationships. Almost every form of procrastination comes down to resisting the first step. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step.